Next time I'll get it right, but for now I'll stay right here where I belong.
You have an amazing opportunity, young generation, to rise above and be proud of the choices you're making, and get out of a codependent culture and be responsible for you and work harder in your life than anyone else ever will.
What do you want? What do you want out of your life? Where do you want to go? If no one else will fight, I'll be the one. I'll be the one to step into their world. I'll be the one to walk with them.
And I mean it more than you'll ever know.
Some people will ghost you. Well, then maybe they're not real friends. At some point in time in your life, you are gonna have to come face to face with yourself.
Next time I'm getting it right. Will you believe me if I say this is the last time?
And then she points at me and she goes, there's greatness inside of you. Sometimes we need people to believe things for us until we can believe it for ourselves. Because I look at what I'm doing now and it's not lining up with what they said I couldn't do. And now I'm doing everything that people said I couldn't do. Because now I travel the world and I share my story.
Next time I'll get it right, but for now I'll stay right here where I belong.
And by the time I was 26, I was sitting in 30-day inpatient treatment for alcohol. My family wanted nothing to do with me, couldn't hold a job. I was codependent, all because I thought I could get away with it. I should probably have about 10 DUIs. I only have 2. My last one was June 24th, 2010. That was the DUI that changed my life.
For it to hurt more, to stay the same. When I get through this storm, I'll find it on my own. And I'll mean it more than you'll ever know.
And so I'm going to talk about connection and belonging. We're looking for a place to belong where someone can come out and say, hey, we want you here. I want you here. We want you around. We say we live in such a connected world. If that's the case, if we really say we're more connected, then why is everybody more depressed?
There's no dumb kid. There's no worthless kid. There's only kids that have been starved of love and have been wounded so badly, they're just looking for a place to lay. We can't change the history, but we can help shape their future.
Next time I'm getting it right.
Take one thing that you want to focus on to overcome in your life. Take one thing at a time and walk through the process. The process is only a process if one stays in it. If you don't stay in the process, then it's no longer a process.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pure Purpose Podcast. Really hope you enjoyed last week's episode. We're going to jump right into this. I'm really coming up with a lot of great topics. It's really amazing to me that everyday encounters can lead to so many great topics on this podcast. And so what I'm going to talk about today is emotional maturity. When I look around, I see a lot of lack in this. And so I want to talk a little bit about what it means to be emotionally mature, what it means to be emotionally mature as a leader, what it means to be just emotionally mature as a person, different things like that. So we're going to jump right into this, okay? So the first thing I'm going to cover is when you're a leader of something in your emotional maturity. We have a responsibility, okay, to those that we lead to become the most mature that we can. Is actually a sign of great leadership when we can show others that we are worthy of them, like we can see how worthy they are of contributing just as much as we are. Okay. Also, being able to handle conflict in a mature way will lead to the overall success of who you're leading. Okay. Recently, someone told me that a lot of the leaders they work with, honestly, and this is an ouch, a lot of the leaders they work with have the emotional maturity of a toddler. And honestly, I've seen a lot of this. There is organizations out there that are being led by people that actually aren't great leaders. And so at the end of the day, emotional maturity is actually, that's probably one of the biggest things that your organization may be lacking, or one of the biggest things that your activity may be lacking. If you're a coach out there, you may be having some players or whatever it is, or even if you're just in regular activities, you may be having some of those situations where people aren't mature. Some of you may be coaching and you may have to get in a position where you become more mature because of how you handle conflict with your other coaches and different things like that. So we have to be able to show the maturity. One of the biggest things of maturity, and we're going to get into this, and there's a book called Keep Your Love On, and he talks about being a powerful person by Danny Silk. He talks about becoming a powerful person. And so I want to talk a little bit about what it means to be a powerful person. Okay. I'm not talking about a person in a position of power. I'm not talking about if you're the head of something. That's not what it means to be a powerful person. Okay. Instead, I'm talking about each one of us individually. We have the power of choice in every single thing that we do. Okay. We can choose to leave a conversation full of gossip, or we can choose to add to it. Okay. If you're at a party that a bunch of things are going on, you can choose to leave that. You can choose to say no. There's a lot of different things. Okay. We are not powerless to the people around us. Okay. We can let the world dictate our actions, or we can let our actions dictate the course of events around us. Becoming a powerful person is full responsibility for every single area of your life. And understanding that when I have the power of choice, and I can say yes or I can say no, and understanding that I have the power to influence the people around me, maybe be my friend group, maybe be my class, maybe be my sporting event, whatever it is, my activity, you have the ability to impact the people around you. And when that happens, then you start becoming a powerful person. When I see powerless people, I look around. A lot of them have many things in common, okay? But one of the biggest things that they have in common is the fact that they let circumstances and situations around them control and dictate how they react. And this is the quickest way to show your emotional immaturity. This is the quickest way for people to look at you and be like, man, this person just throws a fit. This person tries to scream to become the loudest. One of the things that there was a situation recently, and a kid came up to me and was talking to me about something that was going on in their school that this person did not like. And so there were some things that took place, made a choice to do opposite of what was being asked of this person. So he came to me, and what happened was I said, okay, there is a way to address this situation, but the question that I ask you is, do you want to yell, or do you want to be heard? Because there's a difference of yelling and being heard. And at the end of the day, I said, the one thing that you want to do is make sure that you're heard on this. Now, doesn't mean the situation around you is going to change, but you can at least say what you would like to say about the situation in a way that shows the maturity, because you go to the person when it comes to something that you want to talk about. Okay. That's another sign of maturity. If you can go to the person that you have to address in a situation and say, hey, this is what I would like to see. And whether they want to go the route you want them to go or their own route, either way, you can get to a place where you became a powerful person because you did what you needed to do. And so we need to continue to work on our emotional maturity. Okay. This can be difficult for some people. I'll be honest with you. This was very, very difficult for me for many years. It's a lot of it because I wasn't taught properly how to mature. And as I got older in life, circumstances that happened, I just learned to kind of bully my way through and control the way through. And that is not actually emotional maturity. Emotional maturity is saying I can accept whatever comes as long as I put my best foot forward in the situation. Okay. And so I want us to understand that today, that we have the ability to be emotional, mature people. Okay. We have the power to speak up. We have the power to say no. Okay. To do what is best for us and for those that we love. Okay. Becoming a powerful person is the biggest sign that you are emotionally mature. And here's what it means to become a powerful person. This may be a challenge for many, especially when they are used to control and manipulate to get their own way, okay? Powerful people can understand the success of others. It doesn't take away from their success, okay? One time I heard someone say, other people's success doesn't take away from mine, okay? There's enough for everybody to go around. But sometimes when we get upset with people and we want them to do what we want to do, okay, and we kick and scream, that's only showing our lack of maturity. We need to get to a place where we can become emotionally mature. A lot of you are being held back in life because you don't know what it means to be emotionally mature. A lot of you are being held back in life because you have simply learned a way to get through things. And the only way you know how to do that is by pushing your way through. Okay, even as a leader, sometimes learning about situations that come to you and how you respond to those, okay, how you respond to those situations can actually propel you forward. Okay, but when we're always reacting to the things around us, the emotional maturity that we lack really comes out. We live in a world that immature has become tolerated. And sure, you can live that way if you want to, but it won't take you far in life. And I'm not even talking about winning and proving people wrong. Honestly, the biggest way you can prove someone wrong is by becoming a powerful person. The biggest way you can prove someone wrong is by becoming emotionally mature. The biggest way you can prove someone wrong is if you're being gossiped about, don't even worry about what they're saying, because at the end of the day, it says more about them than it does about you. Okay? That's how you prove people wrong. It's not about my haters. And I've said this before, success isn't about making a bunch of money. Success isn't about, what job you get. Success isn't about being known by the world. Success is completely individual. But the lack of maturity is actually creating crisis in our society today. It's creating things. We don't want to hear things. We don't like hearing the truth. That's one sign that you are emotionally immature. You don't like hearing the truth. If you did something to someone that hurt them and someone talks to you about it and you get upset, you're emotionally immature. You don't like hearing the truth about yourself. Immaturity will roadblock you in a lot of different things. The good thing about this is there's ways around this. There's ways to actually say, you know what, I need to be taught maturity. Some of it is just healing through the things that you've been through and being able to talk about it and be able to open up about some of the pain. Some of our maturing stops at certain ages when we hit trauma, when things happen in our lives that create pain. A lot of the immaturity takes place, okay? And not to mention our brains aren't fully developed for quite a while. I believe it's 25 years old when your brain's fully developed. So a lot of things that you go through can create that emotional immaturity. And again, some people just don't know it. So I'm not saying it's deliberate. This is what you got to hear me say too. It's not deliberate necessarily, but it is something that we have to pay attention to, because as we get older, we have to act our age. Okay. And sometimes things won't go your way, and it's okay to get frustrated about things. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to address certain situations, but at the same time, being emotionally mature says, no matter what happens, I'm going to react in a way that says, I am powerful. And let me just address one thing, because I believe that there's a gap in this too. It's when we think people will walk all over us. Well, I can't give in to them because they're going to walk all over me. Sure, some people will take advantage of you. I understand that completely. But that doesn't always mean that they will. But at the end of the day, if someone wants to take advantage of you, walk all over you, they're the ones that are actually making it worse for them in the long run, because they're going to learn that that is not a way through life. And it's actually cheating yourself when you get down the road, because there's certain people that know you're not going to be able to take advantage of me because I understand who I am. And so it doesn't mean lay down, oh, they're going to take advantage of me. Okay, if they do, I promise you, it will shortchange them more in the long run than you. Even making choices to do something for someone, you make that choice. And whatever the outcome of that choice is, you can become a powerful person, and you can say, man, you know what? Yes, sure. I thought that they'd appreciate it more. I thought that they would have done that in a better way. I thought that they would have maybe done something that showed that I was important to them. But even if they don't, that doesn't have to change your outcome in it. It doesn't have to change your stance in it. Okay? I want us to get this today. Okay? Powerful people take responsibility for themselves. I want us to understand that today. Take responsibility for ourselves, no matter what that may be. And you're going to make mistakes. Powerful people admit their mistakes. Okay? That's all a sign of emotional maturity. It's all a sign of emotional maturity. Admitting your mistakes, admitting the things that you've done wrong. But again, allowing room for those mistakes too, because those can be a really big launching pad into learning. Okay? And so understand that every situation is an opportunity. Okay? Powerful people empower, not control. You empower other people. You empower situations around you. Okay? You empower people to want to seek out the truth. These are all signs of emotional maturity. Okay? We have to get to a place where we start maturing more. Hang around the people that are more mature and they have what you want and they can help you gain that. It is not going to serve anybody well, yourself included, to continue to sit in a place where you don't handle situations in the right way. Okay? Powerful people understand that staying stagnant will only lead to bigger problems in the long run. I've many conversations about this with people. And one of the things that I talk about is when I go through hard times, for me, it always exposes what may need to be tightened up, what may need to be healed. Okay, it always exposes what I can learn in it. That's what I take from it. It took me years to get to that place, but that's a sign of maturity to understand when things are drudged up in you. Harder seasons do drudge up a lot of excess stuff. And sometimes it can bring out things that you thought you had dealt with, but maybe you didn't. But understanding, okay, this is what I need to do. I see this. This is just going to show me exactly every single thing that I need to work on for this situation. And so one of the things that I say is, for me, if a situation that I rub up against exposes something in me, and oftentimes it does, for me not to deal with it right then and there, I know what the alternative is on the other side. Emotional maturity says, I don't want this to affect my situation, my growth, even my relationships in the future, my career in the future. If I don't take care of this now, it eventually will, because it's going to show up somewhere else, and it's probably going to be too late by then to handle it. And so we have to understand that taking care of it now, that's emotional maturity. Does it always feel good? No, it doesn't always feel good. I will tell you that right now. Okay? Admitting flaws, admitting that there's things that you didn't get through are not easy. But when we can get to the place where we start working through things, and we can get to the place where we start saying, you know what? I know what this is. This is exposing something in me that I need to work on. That's when people start looking at you to say, gosh, I don't know what that is, but I really want that, because these people take responsibility for themselves. Okay? One of the last things of emotional maturity, and I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, is accepting the outcome, even if it doesn't go your way. Okay? Throwing a temper tantrum when things don't go your way is a big sign that you aren't mature. Okay? Being able to respond or reacting, that's a sign of maturity. If you respond to something and not react to it, okay, it will show others how mature you are, and will actually help you with things that you are involved in. Other people will see how you respond, and they'll be like, oh man, that didn't rattle them. Sure, it might not have been the easiest for them, but they didn't react to it. And a lot of times when people are emotionally mature, they're going to react to things that happen and not respond to them. And reactions always create more chaos. Okay? Responding creates solutions. But the only way you can get to that place is if you continue to work through the things. So I want to challenge you today. What are those things in your life that you may need to mature in? Is it hearing no? Maybe some of you don't like hearing no, and that's one of the things that you continue to struggle with. Okay? Is it being able to not control others? Is that something that's a struggle for you? Okay? Will that be something that you look at and you're like, man, I want them to do something, but I can't force them to do something? Okay? Whatever it may be. Is it even just a simple way of when you're upset and when you're angry about something, how do you react to it? Do you actually go process it, or do you throw a tantrum trying to be heard so loud because you need to get your point across? Okay, I want to challenge you today, especially as a leader of anything, not even just an adult, but kids. I want you to understand this today, that it's very important to mature as a leader. Okay, you're not going to do it perfectly because life hits. I will say that. But with each situation in life creates more opportunities for growth. More opportunities for growth give you a better chance to respond and not react. We need more people that will respond in today's society over react. Okay? I understand that you may think that your voice needs to be heard, and I want your voice to be heard, and I believe your voice needs to be heard. But it comes down to what I said earlier in this podcast. Do you want to be heard, or do you want to yell? There is a difference. Being heard actually moves something forward. Yelling stops it in its tracks. Okay? I hope you all can marinate on this. Hope you can all get to a place where you start looking inside. This is the first sign to anything. We have to look inside. We have to be able to say, okay, what did this situation expose in me? Why did this situation bother me so much? And I'll be honest, sometimes it's not fun to be mature. I'll be honest with you. But it's worth it. And if you did something to someone or you caused a bigger mess, just go clean it up. That's all it comes down to, y'all. I love y'all. We're going to be okay. At the end of the day, it's been a pleasure being on this journey with you. Continue to live whole and a full life. Continue to becoming more powerful. Continue to keep working on yourself because you are worth the investment. There's one major thing, and that's the fact that we are all unique and we are all needed on this earth, and you're worth that investment. And if we can pull a little bit out of you to be a solution to this world, the world will be a better place. I love y'all. We're going to do it together. So much gold inside of you. We're going to help walk out the greatness outside of you. Keep climbing. And I'll see y'all next time.
Next time